And welcome to the LV Home Experts Radio Show, where we talk about real estate and financing every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I know that we are starting a little bit early. If you are just tuning into the channel for the first time, my name is Chakits Kruksawat. I'm a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I hang my license with Simply Vegas. I have the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only, the co-host, Dan French, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Beautiful Wednesday night.
Yes.
It's dark.
It's getting dark early,
It's
huh?
starting to get romantic.
I don't know, man. About 4:30, it gets a little bit pretty dark for me, Dan.
Yeah, I tell you, man, I like it, but it's such a change because I like to look. There's times where I like it to go darker later, but
Yes.
right now it's a big change for me, so I'm trying to adapt.
So today we have a very special guest. She is a agent with Simply Vegas, and also she flips properties too as well. So we want to bring her in and get a different perspective as far as what's going on in the Las Vegas housing market, especially when it comes to flip properties, because I noticed some of these flip properties are starting to decrease the price, or doing a price reduction. And, you know, from our last episode, we had a discussion with Zillow and what happened. So I would like to introduce the one and only special guest, the only guest we ever had on this show. What's going on, Leslie?
Hello. There you go. I hope you're proud of me for learning how to use this mic.
Yeah, she has been trying to work this thing for the past 15 minutes.
So many,
Gadgets.
It's like building IKEA furniture. Like no instructions, figure it out. If I would have known this, I would have been practicing every day.
Well, she did come here at 4:05. I'm like, okay, 4:05. It's a little bit early, isn't it?
Just to figure out the mic
Just to
situation.
figure out the mics, yeah.
True dedication right there.
And kind of, get home inspo decor from Chakits. He was giving me a little tour and showing me the trophies. I didn't know we could bring our trophies. So.
Oh, you got trophies too?
Yeah, she does.
I have. Why wouldn't I? You don't have trophies?
No, I mean, I didn't know everybody's bringing trophies.
Well, he doesn't let us bring trophies.
It's all about me. It's my show.
We're going to start our own show.
Yeah.
And we'll let people,
People know.
bring their trophies.
So,
Absolutely.
Leslie, I want to get into this, right? Because we don't have that much time. But can you give us a quick rundown about yourself in 3 minutes and how you got into real estate, how you got into flipping, and just kind of like all your accolades?
Okay.
Besides the trophies?
3 minutes. Let's do this. So I am Leslie. I got into real estate as soon as I turned 18, and it was
best time to start.
I know, and it was a little bit of an accident. Mm-hmm. I started college at 16, so by the time I was 18, I was already in my junior year. I was studying finance. And for the first 2 years, I had been taking high school and college classes. So I was taking about 11 classes every semester. And I did not have time for anything. So naturally I was happy. No time to think. I was living my best life.
Yeah.
So as soon as I was a junior, I only had, 5 classes. So I got really bored with life in general. And my aunt said, if you want to get your real estate license, I'll pay for it. And I said, great, I'll do it. So I got it, and then I hung it up because I had no intention of using it. And then I got bored again and thought, wow, I bet I could sell a house if I really tried. So I went and picked up my license and went in Indeed out of all the websites and applied to all these brokerages. The first call I got was the first interviewed. I went, with that brokerage. It wasn't Simply at that time. And I remember the broker asking me, do you speak Spanish? And I said, yeah, I don't look like it, but I actually do. And he said, great, I need you. There's nobody in this office that speaks Spanish. And I said, awesome. Am I going to get all the Spanish speaking clients? He said, yes. So I said, okay, I'll think about it. And I made a joke as I was leaving. I said, the only thing that concerns me is that I only saw a coffee machine and I don't drink coffee. I'm a tea person. So 3 hours later, his wife sent me a picture of a little tea kettle. Okay. And she said, can you come over to our company now? And I said, okay, great. I'll be there tomorrow and sign. So that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. And after that came the hard part. So I think, for most of my life, I was just in school, and school was really, really easy to me. I was that one person that would just show up for the exam, and somehow my brain had taken in the information. And then, but then I got into real estate and I thought, oh, this is going to be easy too. People are going to be lining up, waiting to buy a house from me. I'm going to be famous. And I think most realtors go in with that belief. You're just going to be doing this and making money. So I went in and it was not easy. It was super hard. So 3 months went by and I still hadn't sold a house. So at this point I was annoyed. Yeah. And also very determined because, one of the first hard things I've ever had to do. I was also broke. I was in college. So I started to think of all the ways that I could potentially get a client that was free. So I started posting on Facebook, made an Instagram, got in all the social media, and then I did this one weird thing that actually worked, which is I got on Craigslist. Every day I would go on Craigslist and I would post. And I did this for about 2 weeks.
What were you posting at that time?
Yes. So from the beginning, I was very interested in the investment side of real estate. So I would take a duplex, fourplex, whatever, just kind of post a picture and say, if you want information about buying a duplex, fourplex, investment property in Las Vegas, let me know. I'm an investment expert. Having sold absolutely nothing. Okay. So eventually after 2 weeks, I got a call from a South African guy in California. He's like, hey, I'm going to be there next weekend. I want to blah, blah, blah. And then he's asking me about the market. And I'm like, just telling him about the market as somebody that knows nothing about the market. And he's agreeing. Yeah. So he came out, actually bought something, and then ended up buying another fourplex. He's still a client to this day. And during that whole transaction, I'd actually make jokes and go, so how old are you? Right. And I think at the beginning, actually now, I'm 21 now. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I thought you was 35.
Oh, you're 21?
Yeah.
Wow. They do a lot of good things in El Salvador.
Yeah, so I'm 21. Now I've gotten a little bit over the whole age thing. Yeah. But especially at the beginning when I was 18.
Is that something like mentally was kind of holding you back because you were young?
I think at the beginning it was because I was just so terrified of people asking me how young I was. Mm-hmm. And I think I'll get into that a little bit later, how I think my identity has actually helped me out a lot. Yeah. But at the beginning, it didn't help me out because I didn't think it could.
Later on, I thought we was doing this in 3 minutes.
Sorry, 3 minutes. Okay, we're almost done.
No, go ahead.
We're almost done. So anyway, that client said, so how old are you? And then I looked at him and said, you should never ask a lady her age.
What did he say?
He said, I am so sorry. I will never bring it up again. Like, don't be mad at me. And I said, it's forgiven. So sold my first property, which was a condo in streets that shall not be named, but that was also fun. So that's a little bit about me and real estate.
I'm so jealous that she literally started when she was 18. Like, I didn't start until like I was 31. Like, you literally have such a big advantage against other real estate agents out here. Good for you.
Thank you.
And not only that, you started in a time where the market is hot. I remember when I started, the market was tough. I remember we were doing deals like 80,000, 65,000. Imagine the commissions on that. And you literally had to show like multiple properties and work the hell out of these deals. It was very hard.
Well, the market has changed a lot because when I started, I remember that if you could qualify somebody for down payment assistance, and they had $1,000 in their bank account, I would just go out and show homes because I knew I could get all their closing costs covered by the seller. And it was fine. I had a deal where the lady actually got a check back from title, so she got paid to buy a house.
That's nice. We did something like that on your sister, didn't we, Dan? Where she basically almost got the house for free because we got the closing costs. She did the down payment assistant program. And, I think she...
You know how long ago that was?
No, it was a long time ago.
That's got to be 7 years?
Yeah, I mean, you don't get deals like that anymore, but, man, you also got to know how to negotiate deals like that. It's case-by-case basis.
Bring something up. I mean, we got people that still ask about the down payment assistance. And the thing is that it's still a great program. So I'm not saying don't use it, but... in this market, is it going to be beneficial to you? Right?
Yeah.
Because you're going up against people. What is the number one thing agents do? They call me and ask me what the client's doing.
Yeah. And some of these savvy agents now, they'll call the lender and find out, do they have enough liquid right on the side? And that's a big part. So, I mean, it's very challenging if, you're doing some sort of, program and you're also adding for closing costs or asking for closing costs. But I want to get into your story real quick, and I'm going to follow this up with Open Door and what's going on with the marketplace. So you bought your first flip property, right?
Yes.
And I think on this deal you killed it on this one.
I did. In every deal I wanna kill it.
Okay.
I'm not trying to lose money buying the houses. I'm not Zillow, but
no, I got.
Don't call me Zillow.
So on your first deal, what'd you end up paying for it on your first flip?
We were 180, and then we sold for 286.
And how much did you put into it?
About 40.
40. So would you make like 60 or something? Is that right?
A little bit like that, yeah.
Okay, nice. Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: you know what's going on with the market, right? With Zillow, where they had over 7,000 homes that they're liquidating and stuff like that, right? What are you seeing right now in the marketplace with a lot of other flip companies out here? Because there's quite a few companies that do flip properties, right? What are you seeing right now?
So I would say that as the market got really, really hot and competitive, you saw a lot of this big, so you have to think about it, right? So the big flippers, they're big, so that's the advantage, but they're big, so that's the disadvantage because they have all these people that they have to pay, all these management roles.
Yeah.
I don't have a management role because I'm managing it, right? I don't have to pay that extra person. So a lot of these big companies couldn't compete against smaller flippers or buy and hold investors. So they started doing flips in which they might only make $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 just to keep their crews and to keep their people paid. So I think that's where it got tough, where the margins got really, really small. So for that property that I did, actually, I don't think anybody else went for it because the margins weren't there. But I made them be there. So what I mean by that, it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath with a pool. Yeah. So to resell that, it's rough. There's not a lot of people looking for a 2-bedroom, with a pool.
But a pool does help you. It does compensate that third bedroom for sure.
Yes. So what we did was we added in a 3rd bedroom and a bathroom. So that's why the rehab was so high. It was $40,000. Yeah. Because we did that, and then we were able to get the value out of it. But we went in with, taking that risk of, I didn't even know if a bedroom was gonna fit there. It's less than 1,000 square feet, and it's a 3-bedroom house. Oh, so wow. I call it my small baby. Okay. So you didn't do any extension to the home, you just added inside, to what? Okay. Yes, to the existing structure. Yes. So that's kind of the way that you. So basically, she added value by creating another bedroom.
I have a question on something. So we know Zillow overbought, right? You said corporations have issues where they have a lot of people they have to feed, right? They got to, a lot of people they're paying. So they have to find a specific market that's going to give them the return on investment. How do you go about that? I mean, is Vegas really a market for that?
I think any market's a good market if you have the right people.
And if you find the right deal.
And you find the right deal. So it's a numbers game, right? If somebody bought me a house in Alaska and the numbers were there, I would probably fly to Alaska and do it.
Yeah, it would make sense, yeah.
But Zillow, the thing is, it's so big, right? And probably it was salary employees making the decision of, are we going to buy this house or not?
Yeah.
And probably salary employees that are not even in Las Vegas or are not even in this market, so they're not familiar with it. So I think that's where they went wrong. And I don't even think Zillow was trying to make money on the flips to begin with. I think they're just trying to gather data.
And I think they were trying to also control and dictate the market.
Yes, right? So they can buy all because they know what we search up. So if they see that a lot of people are searching up, 89117, they might go there and buy up a lot of the properties. And if they buy enough of them, they can control that neighborhood's value.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they did. I think it could have worked actually if they hadn't spread themselves out so thin.
Now Zillow is not the biggest iBuyer out there. The biggest iBuyer out there right now is actually Open Door. Mm-hmm. So I decided to go into the marketplace, right, to see exactly what's going on here locally. And it looks like Open Door has about 615 properties currently here in Las Vegas. So, I mean, that's quite a few, right? And that tells you what the overhead is. I don't know if, obviously they're paying cash, but then I don't know if they're borrowing that money, from their investors, right? Shareholders, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So I found out that they actually have 3 different entities right now in Las Vegas. It's called Open Door Property, Trust One. And within this account, they have 346 properties. And Open Door Property J LLC, they have a total of 138 properties. And Open Door Property C LLC, they have 131 properties in these entities right now. So I took a look at some of their properties, right? Some of them, right, are starting to do a price reduction. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because if Zillow, right, sold 7,000 homes or selling 7,000 homes, you see a lot of stuff on social media, on the news, like, hey, is the market going to collapse? Right. They're the leading indicator as far as data. So if they're selling, if they're selling everything and liquidating everything, they probably see something that we don't. All right. So the next thing is, if we take a look at Open Door, because they're the biggest iBuyers out there, and if I'm starting to see a price reduction, what does that mean to you guys?
I'll let you answer first. You're a lady.
I'll let you go.
Because he's a lady.
Because I'm a lady.
She's calling you a lady. Oh, she threw it on you.
I'm trying to give you that respect.
Look, she doesn't need hands up. She's a strong woman.
I am strong.
You mess with her, she's going to give you a black eye.
Listen, man, the guy that came in, she's like, hey, how old are you? That's the wrong thing to do. So I'm trying to set myself up right here. So
she's like a homie. So you got to talk to her like a homie, okay?
All right.
Bestie vibes only.
Yes,
always.
Exactly.
Go ahead. I'll give you the shot. You're the guest. Go ahead.
Honestly, once again, I think it just means that I think for the average buyer, it shouldn't mean anything.
Okay.
I think it just means that they have people in positions of power that shouldn't, be there, and they're just spreading themselves out too thin, and they have to sell because, their holding costs are so high, right?
Yeah.
So once I got into flipping, what it really helped me with is realizing there's this amazing thing called holding costs. And I just used this to get an offer accepted 2 days ago because I said, look, we can close 10 days sooner than your other offer, which is exactly the same as mine. And I calculate that will save your client X, amount of dollars. Yeah. So people don't realize that when you're flipping, you're not on an FHA or conventional loan. You're not in a 3% interest rate. You're like 8, 9. Yeah. At best. So you're doing hard money or private money. Yeah. So to them, it makes more sense just to reduce it and like sell it fast than to keep it on the month, in the market a month longer. Yeah. And also the liabilities. So another thing, once I got into flipping was I was up at night thinking, oh my God, what about if my house sets on fire? What about if I have a squatter tomorrow? What about if there's a leak? There's all these things.
Yeah.
So for them, keeping a house, on the market one day longer, that's a liability.
Yeah.
That's a cost.
That makes sense.
So I don't think the market is going down anytime soon.
What about you, Dan?
I think that it's just a bad business move, and we talked about it. Look, if you're an investor, doesn't matter if you're Zillow or you're just a big investor, and you overbuy in anything. Look at the builders. You go back to say 2007, 8, and 9, they really suffered. Why? Because they overbuilt, right? And there was too many homes in the market. The same with these investors. There's got to be someone that has the data that says there's a balancing act where we know that we're not going to overbuy, and if there is something that comes up where, let's say, consumer confidence goes the other direction or something, there's a decline, or we have a slight, reset, then what do you do at that point? And I don't think they planned for it, and I think that's what it is. But
also, this one I want to show you that's very fascinating. If we take a look right here, here's the chart for Open Door. So remember this right here, I think, what date was this here? This is a couple dates ago. So basically we're at $24.75 for Open Door. So when Zillow actually came out, their stocks literally dropped within...
Just plummeted,
dude, down to $20. Now take a look at this. Look at where we're at today. $19. And then 1952.
Next week they'll be giving stock away, like future earnings.
Yeah. So this tells me that the consumers out there, that is, listening to the story, all right, guys like me peddling the fiction. So basically, what's happening is, people are not getting comfortable, right? They're kind of getting a little bit paranoid. So now they're like, okay, if Zillow's selling, then you got Open Door, which is the biggest iBuyer. I've got money in this thing. This shows right here, they're pulling out. So what it comes down to, right, with the economy, it comes down to consumer confidence, right? Could this actually impact the housing market? Yes, it can.
Right.
So, but I want to get more into, with the local flippers out here, because today I just literally showed one of a client a flip property.
Yeah.
And they specialize in more of the higher end flips, and they do such a great quality job. I mean, we are literally going to write up an offer. I mean, that's just how crazy this market is, right? And what I'm trying to get to is, depending on, the price point of the flip properties and the quality of the flip, obviously you got to buy it right too as well. These things will still move. But again, going back to the iBuyers, they're buying it based upon the anticipation that it's going to increase in value, but it's starting to slow down. I mean, what are you seeing within the marketplace right now today with your buyers?
Yes. So I'd like to kind of start off with something I should have mentioned. If you go and look at the Open Door properties, they suck. They don't do anything. At best, they might add in like new carpet,
paint,
or like paint, and not even sand the cabinets, not even new cabinets.
Yeah.
Because they overpaid. They don't have any margin to do an improvement that would actually add, value. But back to the flip properties, I think anything under 300,000, you're gonna sell it so fast. I think anything above that, as long as the value is there, you're also gonna sell. But it comes down to, is the value there, and do you have the person? So it's things that you learn along the way. I can go and look at a house and think, oh, I only need to change the cabinet faces, the fronts. I can save X amount of money and use that money to maybe add vinyl flooring. It just depends. So I think they're still moving. And also, when the margins got really tight, and I was talking about earlier how so many flippers were just breaking even, the quality went down. I saw a house in which the roof probably needed, some repairs. And what did they do? They painted it. They painted the whole roof black, because who needs to make repairs when you can just spray paint a whole roof? So I was looking at the inspection report, and I couldn't comprehend. I understand the thought process, but also that's a big red flag, right? So now we're for sure doing a roof inspection, because, well, you painted a whole roof black as in the color that retains heat, as in the color that roofs, shouldn't be.
Now, there's another thing I do want to mention too is that, look, things probably don't sound too good right now. However, on the other side of the coin, there's opportunity. And what I mean by that is that when it comes to Zillow properties, open door properties, right? If you look at how many days on the market some of these things are, right? When you go out and look at the homes, remember, you can always submit an offer that's lower. And I looked online, and it looks like they are accepting offers that are lower than what the original asking price is.
Now, let me say this. So
there's an opportunity.
They still have to make a margin, though, right? And so there's probably a threshold of how far they go down. And I understand they're probably doing that. Also, too, and I'm just curious, the co-op side of it, they don't usually pay the agents a full 3% or the full commission that's normal. They usually pay less. Is that not right? Or is that, maybe I'm wrong?
Well, I mean, that's just across the board. What's happening right now, because the market is so hot, there's so many compensating factors. The sellers, they know what's going on. It's like, why do I need a real estate agent to sell? I can sell on my own. So they want a price reduction, not a price reduction, but a lower co-op. Not only that, the listing agent wants the listing. Hey, you know what? I know I can sell this within like 3 days. Instead of making, $20,000, I'll still make 15 grand. I'll just take it.
Right.
So it all feeds against itself. But what happens is when you start doing that, everybody starts to shortchange. But it's just going to come to a point where when the market starts to taper off and it starts to slow down, there's going to be some adjustments. And I'm starting to see that now with companies where they were only paying 1% or a flat fee. Now they're coming back and they're starting to increase those as well. So, I mean, things are starting to change here.
Yeah, they're not just flying off the shelf.
Yeah. Right. Now, I do want to disclose that if we take a look from year to date, right, the median price point for a home was at $336,000. Today, we are now closing at $410,000. That's a $74,000 increase in this year alone, which is 18% year to date. I mean, that is pretty. That's
pretty year over year, right? Or is that 18% for this year?
No, this year. From the beginning of the year until today, 18%. I mean, that is unbelievable. So here's the thing with real estate. According to Core Logic, an average market is typically about a 3% every single year, right? 18% is very high. So the thing about it is we can keep going up and up, but the question is, are we going to go up another 18% next year? How long can this continue, right? Does it come down to supply and demand? Comes down to the feds, right? It just comes down to consumer confidence. So the question I have for the both of you in the next, say, 6 months, where do you think we will be?
Go ahead.
Can I just take his spot next time? We just kick him out of the podcast, and it's gonna be me.
You could be the co-host.
I could be the co-host, and he could be the co-host.
Give me the co-host.
I think it will definitely slow down.
Okay.
And there's one simple reason for this.
Okay.
People's wages are not going up 18%.
Yeah, that's true.
At some point, there is a cap, right?
Mm-hmm. She makes a good point.
It's just common sense. I mean, you could get into demand, supply. I mean, we can go at it. I'm a finance major. I could be like the beta of the, all the terms. But all you need to think is, am I getting an 18% raise every year?
Yeah.
I'm not. So at some point, people they're not going to be able to buy. So there's going to be a stop, right?
Yeah.
And I know you look at a lot of new builds, and you look at them, and none of them are in an affordable price point, really. So affordable housing it's non-existent at this point, I think, in Las Vegas. It's just so, I have a friend, and she moved out here a year ago, and her rent is $900 for a 3-bedroom. Where's
she getting that at?
I know.
$900
for a 3-bedroom.
She got really lucky. So she was looking,
Is this in Detroit?
A little bit, but no. Here in Las Vegas. Okay. So I've slept over, and I woke up fine and safe and alive. So it's okay. But now it's $1,800 for a,
I know, that's crazy.
It's doubled. It's doubled in a year. So people can't afford to rent. And then now they also can't afford to buy. So at some point, it's going to cap off.
Dan?
I mean, we've talked about it before. Migration. People in other states that home affordability is not there.
No, the question is, what do you think is going to happen in the next 4 months?
That's what I'm going to tell you. I think that
migration.
I'm going to tell you.
We're going to move to Indiana, middle of nowhere.
We're all going to set up shop, and we're going to go to Detroit, and we're going to get that $900 apartment.
I get the primary. I get the primary.
That's exactly where I was going with it.
You know what our Detroit is? In all seriousness, it's Pahrump. Mm-hmm. People are moving to Pahrump and commuting for 1 hour.
That's crazy.
Because you can actually get something out there.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't do it though.
Really?
I wouldn't do it.
They have a McDonald's and a Walmart.
So on a serious note, I think what's going to happen is that we're probably going to see a slowdown. And I don't feel like it's going to stop though, because we have out-of-state buyers.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to contribute to what we're going to do.
And that's a good point. I think November, December, January, right? And at the tail end of February, it's going to be slow. And the reason why is because we are coming into the holiday season, right? Mm-hmm. Kids are still in school. Mm-hmm. But after February, I think we're going to start to see more of an incline. I don't think we're going to be another 18%.
No.
I'm going to say prediction about 10%, because then I think things are going to start to taper off. And the reason why is because what's going on right now is that people are starting to realize, right? Oh my God, home pricing is getting a little bit high. Maybe we should rent. Maybe we should kind of hold off for a second. But you're still going to have buyers, like you said, that are coming in from out of state because of migration patterns. You know, you have the baby boomers, that generation. You have over 19,000 of them retiring every single day, right? Yeah. So if you're on a fixed income, if you think about this, right, where are you going to go? Number one, we probably want to go somewhere that has good medical, Vegas, right? We want to go somewhere where the climate is decent, right? Where there's no like tornadoes or anything, right? Tsunamis, whatever it is, right?
Humidity, right?
You know, that's true too. However, it is hot here, guys. That is definitely the downfall.
He said good climate. I have never in my life been here in April and gone, wow.
Oh, really?
You haven't? You don't think the weather's amazing right now?
Well, right now it's going to be like this for a week.
I'm just wowed by
well,
every
here's the
day
thing.
I wake up. It's like
I can tell you.
Where do you live?
Inside the house.
Inside the house with the AC.
I'm looking at it through my walls, and I got a TV on.
Well, think about this. A lot of people from the East Coast, right? They want to move here because they're done shoveling snow. Oh. So when they come out here and they're like 50 degrees, this is nothing. And it's true. And it's just like, people, like from Hawaii and stuff, they're like, dude, I'm done with the humidity. I want to go to a lower cost. They come out here, they're like, I'll take the heat. Yeah. I mean, the heat's not bad.
It's different, though, because it's not a humid heat.
Yeah,
out here.
exactly.
It's a dry heat. And what she was telling me before the show started was she does very well in humidity, right?
Yes.
Yeah. One thing about humidity, I noticed your skin feels really good.
Glows, your hair, everything.
I know. But you're constantly sweating.
Las Vegas is a city that if you move here, if you're like a 7, you're going to become a 6 because now you're just dried and shriveled up.
Well, that's not true. That's why I use coconut butter.
Coconut butter. Is that your secret?
Yeah. That's why my skin's, that's why I smell so good. I smell delicious.
Well, you seen that Bill Burr?
No.
White people don't know about lotion, man.
Okay.
That's why we crack. So
that's why you burn.
No. I want everybody to know that I asked Chakits this. It was very important. I asked him if he uses 3-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, body wash.
Yeah. And I told her no.
And he said no. So I know I can trust him, you know?
Let's ask Dan that question. Ask him that question.
Go ahead and ask me
I know the answer, yes.
What is that?
You use the 3-in-1.
3-in-1?
He looks like a kind of guy that does.
What's the 3-in-1?
The shampoo, the conditioner.
Oh, of course, man.
Yeah, see?
It's all about convenience. Like I'm not gonna sit there and have 3 things and be like, I gotta do one this and this and this. Like, no, I just want to get it done.
As you can tell, I kind of have that slight little bougie boy in me.
Yeah.
It comes out every once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm a bougie boy.
I got things to do, man. Slap that 3-in-1 on me. I got things to do.
I'm sorry, but you shouldn't wash your hair with the same thing you used to wash.
Well, take off your hat, Dan.
Fill in.
How much hair do you think I got? I mean, that's maybe a 10-second job right there.
Moving on from the hair and the shaming.
By the way, if you guys haven't seen, let's go ahead.
Quick generic plug.
I did. Okay, before I forget, I was thinking about that 18% that we keep repeating.
Okay.
And I think what I love more than that 18% is actually the map that we get that has the zip codes and how much each one appreciated.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of zip codes in Las Vegas, obviously, we're not at that 18% because 18% is the average.
Mm-hmm.
So there were some that were much lower, which is
you're absolutely
at the higher price points. But I think where that 18% comes from, it's actually the zip codes in which there's a lot of flipping going on.
Yeah.
So you think about downtown, right? Probably 6 years. Not a lot of people were looking for houses downtown. And now I get young buyers and they're like, I want to walk to a bar. I want to be downtown. I want to be in that house with the, little mid-century modern style. And those are all flipped houses. So I think flipping has taken a lot of neighborhoods from something that nobody would want to be in to something hot and cool and new and trendy. Mm-hmm. So it's disproportionate. Like I know some zip codes are like 30+%.
Well, not only that, it's you have an investor that goes into those type of neighborhoods because that's where there's a lot of equity, where they can build equity, where it's a fresh neighborhood, but they'll rehab it, right? And you also have to understand the person can no longer afford a $410,000 home, right? Because what it really comes down to, it's not how much the home cost, it's the affordability cost. And the affordability cost comes down to wages, and in addition to that, what your monthly payment is going to be. So that's the determining factor. It's what you are comfortable with the monthly payment. We've already passed that threshold, right? So now what you're saying is they look at homes in different areas and they look at this gem and they're like, wait, this area is not bad. It's up and coming. I can see what's going on. Mm-hmm. And everything in here is brand new. So it's a win-win situation. And that's what drives up that zip code. But it will also get to a point where it's just like Summerlin. It gets drived up so much, people are like, whoa, this is just a little bit too high. Let's move on to a different zip code. So I just wanted to tag along with what you were saying on that.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that 100%.
What about you, Dan?
I concur.
He's still thinking. He's like, if I had used shampoo and conditioner, like, would life be different now?
Oh my gosh!
Hey, no, she's absolutely right. I'm thinking, where do I got to go to get one that says 3-in-1 at the end of this?
I think Gillette's. Is it called Gillette's or something?
No, isn't it called like
Sephora?
I don't know.
Ulta? Oh, isn't that a girl's shop?
I'm talking about the 3-in-1. What's that 3-in-1 you're saying?
I think it's usually like Heads and Shoulders, no? Like the manly brands, like Old Spice.
Oh, okay.
Old Spice deodorant. Old Spice deodorant's magnificent.
Old Spice is
that's manly. Yeah. It gives you that must smell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You walk by and it's like, if you're a real man,
it
even enhances that. Women just like, wow.
Do you know the story behind Old Spice? They almost disappeared. It's fascinating.
Oh, really?
So Old Spice got really, really famous during World War II. Mm-hmm. And people loved it, right? Men loved it. And then what happened?
It's been along that World War II, huh?
Yes, World War II.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So what happens? We enter into the 2000s, and what happens? Those men that are using it, well, they're dying.
Yeah.
And young men don't want to use it because it reminds them of their grandpa, right? That's what grandpa wore. I don't want to wear that. They're using something else. So Old Spice is pretty much going bankrupt at this point. And they don't know what to do. So in the last-ditch effort to stay alive, they hired this marketing company. And the marketing company ran a few studies. And the most important thing they found out is that most men don't shop for themselves when it comes to self-care. It will either, one, be their wife, or it will be their mom.
What if they don't have a spouse or their mom's not with them? Then what do they do?
They're part of that 20% that does
they don't go to the stores.
So let me.
They use 3-in-1. That's what happens.
So let me ask you this: what does this have to do with real estate?
Okay, wait. It'll get there. It'll get there. He gave me permission for the story.
She sold a house for the guy that owned Old Spice.
Old Spice. Okay.
That's right.
It's about marketing. It's about demand. So pretty much they launched this commercial, and it was aimed at women. And it was telling women that their men would smell so good if they use Old Spice. And then they became a thing again.
All right, let's take some questions. Okay, so one of the first questions is, I am a disabled veteran, and live off of disability, and I'm looking to buy a home but can't afford more than $250,000. Is it a good time for me to look, or should I wait for another year? Take it.
Do not wait. Do not wait.
Why? You sound like a salesperson.
Oh,
Don't wait.
Do
Buy
not
now.
Wait. Buy now, please. I would not wait, especially if you have, your VA loan benefits.
Okay, so let's talk about this. This gentleman, the first thing I want you to do is contact Dan at lvhomeexperts.com on our website. There's actually a link to fill out an application page, or just go ahead and shoot us an email. Once he gets approved for a VA loan, right? Now he's with you, Leslie, right? You're telling him to buy now, right? Why should he buy now versus waiting a year?
Because if he would have bought last year, he would have gotten it for 18% less.
That's a good point. Now, if somebody came to you, VA, ready to go, after approved with Dan, how do you start this process with the market being so aggressive and the way the conditions are as of today?
I think the most important thing is education. And I know you're very passionate about this too, and that's why you host this. I think we need to educate our buyers on the process and what to expect, right? I don't want to get calls at 11 p.m. because they don't know what EMD is and how to wire it in and why are people asking me for money. And then I think the second thing is setting expectations, right? Yeah. So if you're pre-approved for up to 250, we're going to look at homes in the 235 range.
Why 235 versus tapping it out?
Going to have to go in at 250 for a 235 house. So just kind of giving space. And I think this is a good time for realtors to get creative and show value.
Yeah, I got a question. So that you said EMD, the average buyer might not know it. Can you explain that?
Yes. So EMD is earnest money deposit. And pretty much when you're buying a home, the title company will contact you and ask you to send it in. And that is just in case you back out last minute. That will go to the seller to compensate them for the time that they lost with you.
Okay. So, I mean, can you even find anything out there? I mean, at 250, I don't even think you can find a house at 250, can you?
I do.
I saw confidence in that.
She's like,
I do.
I do.
I do.
But, okay, so you can possibly buy a home at $250,000. I mean, that's true. Well, for a single-family residence. However, you're not buying a home in Summerlin for $250,000. That's just the reality.
No, you're not. You could get a one-bedroom condo for $250,000.
I mean, it's even hard to find something like that in Summerlin. So it sounds like obviously you're going to have to set that expectations up front, educate the buyers, and hey, this is what's going on in the market. This is all the things that are currently available. So now, based upon what you want, a 16,000 square foot home does not exist for $250,000. So now you have to make those readjustments. And as you make those readjustments, they may come to realization that the homes don't exist, or you may not get your 10 out of 10. Now it's only 3 out of 10.
Which is totally fine because most people are not going to stay in that house forever, right? So we just need them to stay long enough for them to build equity and sell it and get, somewhere closer to their dream home.
Now, do you feel that it's harder for a VA loan to be accepted versus FHA or conventional in today's market?
I would say conventional is usually, they get picked. But I think VA, if you have the right realtor on the other side and then you have the right agent next to you, you can definitely sell it. I know a lot of sellers prefer, a veteran. They want to help out. They want to give back. There are also a lot of realtors that are veterans themselves. So they will, lift you up. And back to what I was saying, it's a time for realtors to get creative. So for me, I know I can do one simple thing, which is if I spend $300 on mailers and send them out to a neighborhood in that price point, I will get a listing.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. So if I have a buyer and all I have to do is spend $300 to get them under contract, or, if they don't like that house, now I have a new listing, why wouldn't I?
Okay. Now I have another question. How does one get in on a flip deal with no experience? Is it possible to do something like this off the MLS? Well, that's
how
two-part question.
Yeah, how much time do I have for that one?
Go ahead. You got 3 minutes. Rock
3 minutes. Rocket. So.
All right, done. Off to the next question. I'm
we're not sharing my secrets.
No, go ahead.
So actually, my first deal was off the MLS.
Yeah.
It is possible. I think you need to find a realtor to set up very specific criteria for you. I have myself on certain drips, so I get notified when properties.
What do you mean certain drips?
So an automated search.
Okay.
So if a house is, under X amount per square foot, I will get tagged because then I know it's, under market value. Mm-hmm. So I think it's possible. My advice for this person would be to start reading. There are books out there.
Okay.
And Facebook. There are a lot of investor groups on Facebook, and there are people that are willing to mentor you. So I got into it because I one day I woke up and was like, why am I helping these investors make money when I can make the money myself, right? I'm already finding deals, and I decided the right people will kind of come along. And my mentor, actually met him at a kid's birthday party. So for that person that says, they don't know anything or anybody, well, if you're not searching for it or if you're not looking for that information, you're never going to get it. Like the difference between you and the person that's doing it is that they're actually doing it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So you weren't seeking this out. This person approached you with that.
I was seeking it out. I had already made it a mental goal and actually put it in my journal. But this person knew me from Instagram and came up to me and said that they really liked my stories and my content. If you don't have me on Instagram, I'm sure you'll add it in. But I do real estate, but I also just do my everyday day to life, me hitting parked cars because I don't know how to drive, or just Leslie activities. And people enjoy that. So
Dan, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Let me go back. So how do you find deals? Like, how do you get started?
You can find a deal.
The easiest way.
The easiest way. MLS, Craigslist, Facebook.
There you go. There's your answer. I have a financing question for Dan, and you can get a little bit more detailed on this. It says, what is a monthly payment on $400,000, no down, VHA? I think he means FHA.
VHS.
I think he means,
VA?
No, FHA loan.
An FHA loan?
Yeah. Well, he says VHA. I don't know if he's saying VA loan or FHA loan.
Probably just added the H at the end.
Okay.
It's probably Veterans Association Housing.
Okay,
That's
so
what I think
let's just say a VA. So what is the monthly payment on something like that? And the other thing that I want to just say real quick, if he's talking about a VA loan where you don't have to put no money down, that is false information, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is because the lenders that you speak to, they may say, hey, look, you don't need any money down, but they're telling you go ask the money from the seller, right? That's how you're going to do the deal with no money down. Unfortunately, that's not this kind of market right now. So don't be, don't listen to the false information. You got to understand what's going on within the housing market. But let's go back to VA financing. How much is a down payment for VA? If somebody,
there's no down payment.
Okay, so there's no down payment, but there's closing costs, right?
Right. Now, if it goes over $1 million, there's a down payment requirement, right? So, you're saying the payment, right? Total payment?
Roughly.
I would say it's about $2,700 to
$27,000.
$27,000 a month.
$2,700. Well, that's kind of high though.
It's not bad. I mean, you still got insurance, taxes, right? You got the loan size. It's a pretty good size loan, and you're taking the full amount. You're not putting money into it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you're thinking it's a $400,000 loan.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people put money down, after they put the down payment, it drops.
Also, you got closing costs too as well. So what is typically the closing cost for a VA loan?
I mean, it depends, but I would say everybody always does a rule of thumb of 3%, but you don't really a lot of times pay 3% because if you're buying an existing home, you got transfers tax, owner's policy. Sometimes there's other contributions in some cases, but most of the time it's 2 to 3%.
Well, Leslie, I just want to say thank you for showing
Amazing
up.
Job.
I know. Very energetic.
3 and 1. I'm going right now.
It's the humidity.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, we're going to go shampoo shopping.
Well, I do appreciate you coming on the show, and I want to bring you back because it was actually fun, and there's so much more to cover, and we didn't even really break ground whatsoever. So I will have all your links in the description below, but you're going to have to send that to me so that way I can add it to the video. And guys, if you guys haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, check us out on Instagram too as well. I think we just hit 5,400 new followers, trying to hit 6,000. Other than that, thank you so much and be blessed, guys.